Setting the stage for a tale of two economies, the year is 2024. The global economy, still reeling from the aftermath of a pandemic and geopolitical shifts, presents a challenging landscape. In this context, two European powerhouses, France and the UK, stand at a crossroads. The UK, having navigated the choppy waters of Brexit, is charting its own independent course. Meanwhile, France, a cornerstone of the Eurozone, grapples with significant internal challenges, most notably a mounting national debt. Historically intertwined, France and the UK now present contrasting narratives. France, facing a potential downgrade by Standard & Poor's, is under intense scrutiny for its rising debt. On the other hand, the UK, having exited the EU, presents a mixed bag of economic indicators. This analysis delves into the heart of these two economic narratives, dissecting their complexities and offering insights into their potential futures. In 2024, France faces a sobering economic reality. The recent downgrade by Standard & Poor's highlights the country's growing debt burden. Years of public spending and sluggish growth have pushed France's debt-to-GDP ratio to worrisome levels. This debt limits the government's ability to invest in crucial areas such as education, infrastructure, and innovation. Rising interest rates threaten to exacerbate the situation, increasing the cost of servicing the debt and potentially creating a vicious cycle. Across the English Channel, the UK is navigating its own set of economic challenges and opportunities post-Brexit. The decision to leave the EU has reshaped the UK's trading relationships, regulatory landscape, and global standing. The UK government highlights benefits like regulatory autonomy and potential new trade deals. However, the reality includes supply chain disruptions, labour shortages, and uncertainty with the EU. These factors contribute to slower economic growth and concerns about the UK's long-term competitiveness. To grasp France's economic woes, one must delve beyond debt figures and credit ratings. France's economic model, a social market economy, has deep historical roots. The legacy of dirigism, strong state intervention, has shaped France's economy for decades. While yielding social benefits, it has also created structural rigidities that hinder growth and innovation. Stringent labor laws protect workers but deter hiring, especially for SMEs. France's complex tax system adds another layer of complexity for businesses and individuals alike. A tapestry of troubles unraveling the French economy. The consequences of structural factors weave a complex tapestry of economic challenges for France. The country has long grappled with sluggish economic growth lagging behind its European counterparts. Low levels of investment, both domestic and foreign, are partly to blame. Investors cite concerns about bureaucracy, labor market rigidities, and the business environment. France's trade balance has been in deficit for years, weakening the economy. The decline of the manufacturing sector has led to job losses and decreased industrial output. The price of grandeur, social spending and stagnation. France's social model, deeply cherished, has come under strain. Generous welfare programs place a significant burden on public finances. As economic growth stagnates and debt mounts, the sustainability of this model is questioned. Critics argue that high social spending is no longer affordable. The high tax burden necessary to fund the welfare state can disincentivize work, investment, and entrepreneurship. Can Macron mend the cracks? Reform efforts and resistance. President Macron has embarked on an ambitious reform agenda to modernize the French economy. His reforms target the labor market, taxation and pensions to boost competitiveness and create jobs. However, these efforts have met fierce resistance from trade unions and segments of the population. Social unrest highlights deep divisions over economic policy and the trade-offs between liberalization and social protection. The UK's departure from the EU has cast a long shadow over its economy. The year 2024 finds the UK grappling with the complexities of newfound independence. Promises of regulatory freedom and new trade deals have collided with trade barriers and a shifting geopolitical landscape. The disruption of established trade flows has been particularly acute in sectors reliant on integrated supply chains. Businesses have had to adapt, streamlining operations and absorbing increased costs. The impact of Brexit on the UK economy has been uneven. The services sector, particularly finance, technology and professional services, has shown resilience. London remains a global financial hub, attracting investment and talent. The tech sector continues to innovate and grow. However, manufacturing has faced significant challenges, including supply chain disruptions and increased costs. The agricultural sector struggles with labor shortages, impacting production and raising concerns about food security. London, a global financial center, faces challenges and opportunities post-Brexit. The city has had to adapt to the loss of passporting rights, forcing financial institutions to establish a presence within the EU. Despite these challenges, London remains resilient, attracting investment and talent. Financial institutions recognize London's continued importance as a global financial hub. The UK government seeks to maintain London's competitiveness by balancing regulatory divergence and alignment. Global Britain, promise and uncertainty. The UK's departure from the EU emphasizes forging its own path on the global stage. This vision includes strengthening trade relationships and seeking new partnerships in emerging markets. The UK has signed trade deals with countries like Japan, Australia, and Canada. However, the UK faces stiff competition from established trading powers. Success depends on forging beneficial trade deals, attracting investment, and navigating a rapidly changing global landscape. A tale of two recoveries: growth and employment. 2024 presents a mixed picture for France and the UK. Both countries are experiencing economic recovery, but with stark differences. France's recovery is sluggish, with GDP growth lagging behind the Eurozone average. High unemployment, particularly among young people, remains a pressing concern. The lack of robust job creation fuels social unrest and undermines confidence in economic policies. The public purse spending, debt, and investment. France's high level of government spending provides a buffer for its citizens, but contributes to chronic budget deficits. The UK has adopted a more austere approach, cutting public spending to reduce the budget deficit. This approach has slowed the growth of public debt, but has been criticized for its impact on essential services. France's spending supports its social model, while the UK's austerity measures aim for fiscal responsibility. Both approaches have significant implications for their respective economies. Beyond the numbers, the intangibles of economic health. Economic indicators provide valuable insights, but do not tell the whole story. Intangible factors like inequality, social mobility, and environmental sustainability shape a nation's well-being. France scores highly in social well-being but grapples with persistent inequalities. Social mobility has stagnated, fueling frustration and resentment among certain segments of society. As 2024 unfolds, France and the UK find themselves at a crossroads. France faces the challenge of maintaining its social model while reviving growth and creating jobs. The UK navigates the complexities of forging new trade relationships and redefining its global role. The choices made by these nations will have profound implications for their citizens and the broader global landscape. Will France reconcile its social welfare with economic liberalization? Will the UK's global Britain vision succeed or falter in a world of shifting alliances? As we stand at this critical juncture, assessing the economic landscapes of France and the UK in 2024, one thing is abundantly clear: there are no easy answers or preordained outcomes. Both nations find themselves at a crossroads, their economies shaped by a confluence of historical legacies, political choices, and global forces. While the UK might appear to be in a relatively stronger position, at least superficially, with its post-Brexit economic adjustments in pursuit of global trade opportunities, the spectre of long-term uncertainty looms large. France, burdened by its debt and grappling with social unrest, faces the daunting task of reconciling its cherished social model with the urgent need for economic reform. The year 2024 serves as a crucial litmus test for both nations, offering glimpses into their ability to navigate the choppy waters of a rapidly changing global economy. The UK's success hinges on its capacity to translate the rhetoric of global Britain into tangible economic gains. forging new trade partnerships and attracting investment while mitigating the inevitable disruptions of Brexit. France, on the other hand, must confront its structural weaknesses head-on, undertaking ambitious reforms to boost competitiveness and stimulate growth without dismantling the social safety net that is so central to its national identity. The economic trajectories of France and the UK hold significant implications not only for these nations, but also for the broader regional and global landscape. As two of Europe's largest economies, their performance reverberates throughout the European Union, influencing the bloc's overall growth prospects, its political stability, and its standing on the world stage. A faltering French economy, burdened by debt and social unrest, could have a chilling effect on the Eurozone, potentially reigniting fears of a sovereign debt crisis and undermining confidence in the single currency. Conversely, a resurgent UK, successfully navigating the post-Brexit landscape and forging new global partnerships, could embolden other nations questioning their place within the EU, potentially fueling further fragmentation and uncertainty. The interconnectedness of the global economy amplifies these ripple effects, transmitting shocks and trends across borders. The decisions made in Paris and London, therefore, will resonate far beyond their borders, shaping the contours of global trade, investment flows, and geopolitical alliances in the years to come. In a world grappling with unprecedented challenges, from climate change and geopolitical tensions to technological disruption and demographic shifts, the need for sound economic stewardship has never been greater. Both France and the UK must resist the allure of short-term fixes or ideological rigidity, choosing instead to embrace pragmatic solutions, evidence-based policymaking, and a willingness to adapt to evolving realities. For France, this means tackling its debt burden head-on, streamlining its regulatory environment, and investing in education and innovation to unleash the entrepreneurial spirit of its people. For the UK, it means seizing the opportunities of global Britain while acknowledging the challenges, ensuring that new trade deals benefit all segments of society, and that the loss of access to the EU market is mitigated effectively. Ultimately, the success of both nations will depend on their ability to foster inclusive economic growth. Growth that creates jobs, reduces inequality, and provides opportunities for all citizens to share in the prosperity. This requires a long-term vision, a commitment to social cohesion, and a recognition that economic strength is not an end in itself, but a means to a greater end, the well-being of their people and their place in the world.